I didn't know you had such a strong Korean fan base.
He's huge in the North.
So like, well, I hope not. I was in Grand Central Station, New York the other day. I was taking a piss.
In the urinal?
Yeah, and no, in the sink. And so that's why I ride a bike. But I also rode a bike years ago because I got my car taken away because I got a DUI. You know, so. I love how I just realized I have sweat stains in the middle of my shirt. I just look like such a slob.
You look great.
This is fantastic.
This is the peak, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on this episode because my wife's gonna watch it.
Oh.
We're both big fans.
No way.
We saw you open for Bert Kreischer at the Kia Forum.
That's right.
You
yes.
killed it.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. That was really fun.
You walked out and your charisma is just so powerful.
Ah, yeah. I love it. Thank you.
You won over everyone in our row, everyone in our section. It was the coolest thing.
Oh, man. That means a lot. Thank you. You're making my day. Thanks.
Was that the same set that you did for your special?
No.
Different.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we saw some jokes in your YouTube special. What's it called?
Wild, Happy, and Free.
And that just came out 2 months ago.
Yes, it did. It came out in April.
That was so good.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you.
How do you come up with what you want for the material to be in the special? Because this was your first one, right? Right.
Yeah. So I worked on it for a while. Some of those jokes, man, like I'd been working on for years. Like I have jokes about my dad. My dad died when I was younger, and telling those jokes, it's like it's tough, man, because if they don't like if you're making a joke about traffic, people are like, yeah, I just don't like the joke. But if you're making the joke about something deeply vulnerable and personal to you, it's like, oh, you're rejecting me and my experience as well. And so having something that close to me and discussing it publicly and everything, working that out took a long time. So from the jokes of the special, I don't do any of those anymore. I don't know if I repeated jokes. Maybe I did some hits.
There were some hits. There were bangers.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah, because also too, what I did was I took some of the jokes from the special and I changed them and like added to them. So I'll like talk about smoking in my special, but since the special, I've added like 10 minutes to smoking. And so I've tried to either not do any of the jokes from the special or take certain topics from it and just do different like ways of getting to the joke. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yeah. And so also I've been trying to do a different set every show, and it's a lot of improv to where that's how I like build my material. And I'm having more fun now more than ever on the road because I did the special, and now like the building of the next one has just been so exciting and fun and a lot faster than how long it took for me to release my first one.
How does that work with you releasing your first one now? Is that kind of the building block, and you do your second one, now you pitch it to networks to see, hey, do you want to pick this up?
I mean, that'd be the goal, you know, but it's also a thing of like I've had to resign myself to the fact that I'm not going to be given anything, nothing. No one is coming to save me. I have to save myself. I just have to do it on my own. What do you mean by that? Like I funded and did the entire special on my own.
That's badass.
And I did, I mean, I couldn't have done it without the crew and the production, and a lot of people really helped me in terms of, working for way less than what their talent is worth. But, yeah, I mean, James Webb, Ethan Dupree, the producer of my podcast, he produced and edited it. James Webb directed it. And the team of people we had together was amazing. And how we like pulled it out was pretty incredible. But I did it all. I funded it on my own. So I knew I wasn't going to like make money off the special. So the special was just the idea of like, I'm going to go in the hole. I'll make it back on the road. I'm going to get it out there, and then that work begets more work. So that was the plan, to just take this massive investment on myself, which is what I did with the podcast too.
It's killing.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, it's really fun. Jordan's actually coming. I'm probably going to see her in like an hour. We're doing a live podcast tonight at the Hollywood Improv.
We saw her do stand-up at the Comedy Store a while ago, and I didn't make the connection, but she was so great.
Yeah, she's the best. We have so much fun. But that's another thing that I was like, you know what? Fuck it. My ex had just left me and moved out, And instead of going into like my usual I'm alone depression spiral after a relationship, I went to the hole, but I had a harness and I had my climbing gear on and I climbed out and I built a podcast studio in my basement, and a guy came along who was like a fan that wanted to produce it. And so he actually ended up investing in the podcast. Wouldn't have started without him. He like invested in it, which was a huge help. And then through the Patreon and everything, we were then able to pay him back for the initial investment and then build more and more. And so, that was another thing of like, I'm just going to do this on my own, and I'm tired of waiting or, seeing all this other stuff of like, comedy is really cool right now because you see a lot of people doing that where they're like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to do this on my own. And I'm fortunate that it's been working, and so, I mean, long-winded answer to answer your question. The goal is on the next one to have someone fucking pick it up and pay for it.
Was there any response from doing that Netflix is a Joke festival? Does that open doors to Netflix now?
Yeah, well, I mean, it opens up a lot of doors in terms of like, I came for the festival, and by the end of the week, Bert had asked me to open for him at the Kia Forum.
Oh, that quick it happened.
Yeah, and then that week, I ended up meeting some people saw me, and then recently I just signed a CAA, and so it's like, little things. It's cool, man. A lot of things are like happening, and wheels are turning, and it's just another kind of sign from the universe that as long as I just keep moving, keep working, keep, for lack of a better term, betting on myself and just believing in myself more than anything, things will be all right. Things will turn out okay, and it's all led me to the lightweights.
To here.
So
you hit the peak. This is it. This is the top. Rogan, who cares?
Yeah.
Now you're here.
Yeah.
What's your mind like the day of the special and then once you walk off set?
Man, oh man. Well, I'll be honest.
Did you like it?
My mind that day was insane because the venue we booked is this classic New York venue called the Cutting Room. Joan Rivers used to have a show there. It's been around for decades and decades and decades, and I love it. It's such an old New York feel. So I wanted to shoot the special there, and we had shot a live podcast there last summer. So we went to the venue, had a great relationship. Hey, I'd love to shoot my first special here. This is a date. And they're like, okay, amazing. We'd love to be a part of it. Awesome. Like, okay, great. And they're like, okay, here's the door deal, this, that. We're like, oh, amazing. So then we shot the special December 3rd, Thanksgiving week, like the day before Thanksgiving. We look at the calendar and they had double booked the venue. My shows were at, I think 7 and 9, and they had booked a show for 4 p.m. And we're like, what the fuck this is surely a mistake. And they booked Daddy the Cool Band, which is an all Korean cover band full of dads that's been around for 12 years. And when they started, they didn't know how to play any instruments, and they've built up like a cult Korean based following.
I'm thinking a collab.
I mean, dude, we called the venue to be like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, yeah, no, you're and we had been to the venue multiple times, mapping out. We moved all the chairs around, like this is where this, and this. And the venue thought that we were just going to shoot a live podcast again with just like 2 cameras, come a half hour before, whatever. And we're like, no, this is like HBO level production. We need to be in here by 8 a.m. And they're like, oh, well, that can't happen. We have Daddy the Cool Band. And we're like, what the fuck? And he's like, I book this guy every year. I'm sorry. And I'm like, what is happening? No, it's my shows were sold out. It was already sold out. Daddy the Cool Band had 2 tickets sold. So he's like, look, if you talk to Jim Lynn, and convince him, he will, you're at the mercy of him. And I'm like, all right. So I call this guy. He's a dentist and he speaks broken English. And I'm just like, Mr. Lin from Artist to Artist, can you please move? He's like, sorry, but people coming from Korea can't help you,
Is he like, Korean too?
Oh my God, Korean, yes. I'm not going to do the accent. But he is like, I'm not budging. And then I like figure out a way to be like, all right, we're doing this. and we're moving everything around. We will let you have the venue from 3:30 until 6 p.m. You had
an hour set up?
No. I said you're going to have the space from 3:30 until 5:45. You have to be out by 6. And he was, I think, kind of confused. And then I was just like, no, this is the way it has to be. And he was like, okay. So we got into the venue at 7 a.m. And usually, like, when a special's taped, the artist or whatever is like, okay, I'll be there later. I was there in the morning with coffee. Like, we're just like, and again, that's why I'm like, dude, these guys, I cannot believe that they all got this done with the cards stacked up against us. And dude, at fucking 3 o'clock, we had to stop because Daddy the Cool Band was loading in, and we were told like they only sold 2 tickets. We're like, why the fuck are they holding this for them? Bro, the venue was so packed with Korean people.
Was it just walk-ins?
Dude, they are like a cult, huge Korean band. And so when I get back there, because we all left and came back, it was packed with Korean people. People were lining up to see my show, and they're like, I didn't know you had such a strong Korean fan base.
He's huge in the North.
So like, well, I hope not. So to answer your question, like, my head was in a million different places, but it's a blessing because I didn't have time to be like, oh, I'm nervous. It was just like, we got to get this done. So, man, oh, man, we had to push start time back a half hour. But aside from that, with everything that happened, the fact that we pulled it off is like a fucking miracle. So it helped to where I wasn't stressing or anything. And then once I got on stage, it just like felt amazing. And everything was just like synced up. It felt great. The first show was amazing. We got it, like completely got it. Everyone was like blown away. Like, dude, we got it. This is just have fun on the second one. I'm like, great. The second one sucked.
Did you use any of the cuts?
Some, but dude, the crowd was just, they were like, instead of being like, this is great, they were just like, we're so happy to be here. We just want to watch, and I had to stop and be like, I'm filming my special. What the fuck's the matter with you people?
We know you're taping.
It was crazy.
We don't want to ruin it.
And there were some people there that were like super fans who were very encouraging, but yelling out. So I'd say something, you'd be like, yes, woo! And I'm like, yo, I know you want to be here and you're excited, but like, you're interrupting. I'm gonna fucking kill someone, But it all worked out. It was great, and I'm really proud of it, man, because I really worked on having an arc to it, like a beginning, middle, and end of like being very silly, being kind of deep, and then being heartfelt, and then while maintaining funny throughout the whole thing. And it was very much like an introduction to like who I am, what I'm about, where I'm from, and I really tried to like build it into like this big kind of picture thing, and with like a thesis at the end and everything. And again, like funny first, but that was what was real fun about building it, was turning it into this kind of arc,
Whose specials did you look up to prior to that? Did you pull inspiration from anyone?
I mean, honestly, my all-time favorite special is Patton Oswalt. His 2 specials, Feeling Kind of Patton and Werewolves and Lollipops. And I really enjoy those 2 because you can see a evolution on them, where the first one is kind of even just like, he talks about being single and talks about, how he can't find love or anything. And then on Werewolves and Lollipops, he's like married, and then he's talking about his relationship. So you see an evolution of him, and even in the material, it's still silly fun, but it gets, deeper, and I love that. So he's one of my favorites. And I also really love Bill Hicks, Rant in E minor and Relentless. And also, like Chappelle Killing Him Softly is one of the greatest specials of all time. But I guess I really kind of, I wanted the look of it to be like 90s stage setup, where, because so many specials are just like a cloth and they're in front of it, and I had like an actual set design. We used everything from the venue, like the chairs and the tables and everything. And my buddy John Nunn did the set design. And so it was, and I used everyone that I'm like friends with from home and everything to kind of help out and stuff. So I really like made it like a family affair. So I was like really, really proud of that.
It felt like it. And you take advantage of the whole stage, which is so fun to watch.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have really bad ADHD, so I
it shows.
have to move around or else I'll forget what I'm talking about.
How long have you been doing comedy?
13 years.
And prior to that, you were a carpenter?
Yeah. I mean, I was everything, man. I was a carpenter. I was a part-time teacher. I was a waiter. I was
You were a
pizza
teacher?
delivery guy. Oh, yeah.
Do you ever run to your students?
No. I taught in really bad parts of the city. So if I do, I'm in a bad way. Yeah. Yeah, I went to school for English education, and then I taught. I was a full-time sub, drank myself out of the job, went to Delaware, became a carpenter, moved back to New York, and taught again and delivered pizzas, fixed printers, was like a handyman.
A real Johnny Sins of the sorts.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Sins.
A real Johnny Sins of the sorts.
Look at that. And on and off camera, too. You know?
At what point do you realize that you have a shot at it? Because doing stand-up comedy is so hard.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you when I figure it out.
Please.
No, I mean, I don't know. It was like I just started doing open mics and I never stopped. And then eventually you just start slowly transitioning from like, oh, I'm making more money and now I don't have to, you know, work 5 jobs. I can work 4 while I do comedy and now 3. And then, you know, so it's, for me, it was very much like a kind of almost like a relay race of like, you know, having like more stand-up work. I held on to that and didn't let go until I could let go of my other jobs. You know what I mean? But it took a while. You know, I've only been doing it for full time for like, since like 2019, 2018, I think. So that's what, like 5-6 years?
Yeah.
7 years maybe? I'm bad at math.
5?
No,
2019?
2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, 6.
Yeah, that's what I said. 9.
7.
8.
No, oh my God.
You're on tour now, right?
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's great, man. It's awesome. I love being on the road. I love touring. I love playing different towns. I love being a tourist in all these towns and doing like towny things, you know, like I went to Seattle and I went to Pike Market and I caught a fish.
That's sick.
And yeah, I like doing stuff like that on the road. And then I tell people and they're like, oh, that's so basic. I'm like, yeah, I love basic. It's so, there's a reason why they call it basic because so many people do it because it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, it's great. I'm in LA until Monday. I have a week off in New York and then I hit the road heavy every weekend until December. So I'm pumped.
How does hitting all the podcasts affect your stand-up shows? Do you notice a lot more people coming out to the crowd when you do a solid
it's
run?
The best. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, podcast fans are great, especially like seeing, you know, fans of our podcast come out because they get you and they know you and they know what they're walking into. So they give you the grace of being able to, they know the funny's going to come and they know that if you miss the mark a little bit, they know you're coming from a good place. So there's not this like, how could he, oh my goodness. You know, it's like, it truly feels like because my stand-up's very conversational and it just feels like I'm, you know, having a big house party and I'm like in the living room telling stories to all these people.
Literally,
you know?
what it feels like.
Yeah, and that's what I want to make it feel like. I want to, I want to make it feel like you're a part of something. And that's why I do a different set every time because you legitimately are a part of something that's not going to happen again. And so a lot of people are coming to like a Friday early show and then coming to a Saturday late show because I do different sets. And that's really cool because, you know, like a couple will come to the Friday show and then they'll come and bring more friends to the Saturday show and I give them something different every time. So I really like that, like even in a weekend you can have a whole different experience and it pushes me because if I know there's one person in the crowd that's seen me before, I will not do any of the same jokes. Like last time I played
really
LA,
hard.
Yeah, I love it because it pushes me, you know, and it makes me I jump out of a plane without a parachute and figure out a way to land and not die, you know. So I love that feeling of coming up with it on the spot and going to a place and not even knowing how I got there and finding my way out of it, and, you know, just trusting myself that I know funny and I can find funny. And sometimes I'll ask the crowd to give suggestions or ask questions, and then I'll just go off on that. So I really like the spontaneity and the idea of like, what the fuck is going to happen? I don't even know, you know? And I like taking people along for that ride.
When you're doing that, are you riffing off your mind, or do you have notes of things that
Off
you thought
my
were...
head. Yeah.
What'd you think of the roast of Tom Brady?
It was incredible. I mean, dude, those comics did such an incredible job of not only like knocking it out of the park, but like hitting everyone where it counted for hard, fun comedy. I think a lot of people are hungry for just jokes. And even if they're, you know, really, you know, naughty or whatever, people like it because for so long, I feel like people have been, you know, walking on eggshells. So to see people kind of hit it really hard is almost refreshing in a way. And everybody knew it was jokes. Everybody knew that it was all in good fun. Everybody knew what was being said. No one meant it. Everyone was just getting a laugh and enjoying it. And dude, I mean, fucking Nikki knocked it so far out of the fucking park. It was like, she was like the star of the show. It was flawless, man. It was fucking great.
Is the chatter amongst the comedians feel like it's kind of swaying the other way, that you can start saying things like that again?
I mean, I feel like, sorry, ask me again.
Does it feel like comedy is kind of swaying that way, where you can get away with those jokes? Not even get away, be able to speak freely about it.
I mean, I feel like you've always been able to. You just have to deal with people not being into it. And a way to make people be into it is just be funny and find a way to be funny with it, you know? Like those jokes that you saw on Netflix, they worked and reworked those jokes. And when they started, because I saw, you know, what you do is you go to the clubs and you take your jokes and you tell the crowd, you go, hey, I'm doing a roast for Tom Brady. Imagine Tom Brady's here. Imagine, you know, Kevin Hart is here. Imagine this person's here. So when I say these jokes, they're going to be here.
They did that.
Yeah. So that's how you run your jokes. So you get up, you run your jokes, and people, it's a pretty great system, comedy. You tell a joke, and if people don't laugh, you go, oh, maybe that's not a good joke and I need to rework it. And if people like it, you go, oh, great, I'm onto something. I'm going to keep going. So the whole thing of like, you can't say anything anymore. It's like, no, you can, as long as you make it funny. But making it funny, you need the grace to be able to get to the funny. You know what I'm saying?
Have you ever done any work on a roast?
Yeah, I've written for roasts before. So I've written for comics for the roasts, just like contributing writing. So I wrote for Nikki for some of the roasts in the past, like Alec Baldwin and Bruce Willis. But the writers that they had on this one were like out of the fucking, I mean, I can't say it enough how much everyone just nailed it from top to bottom. And again, like some of those jokes when they were, running them, you'd hear the crowd be like, oh, no. And it's like, okay, well, either that joke's not for you or there's something in the joke that I need to change so that everyone will be on board with it. And by the time they went to tape, it was great, you know, but you got to go through that process of having the joke not get the response you want, which is laughter. And so when people are like, you can't say this, you can't do that, it's like, no, you can. You just got to make it fucking funny, and getting to funny is pretty fucking hard, but it's a lot easier to just give up and go, well, you can't say anything anymore. It's like, no, you can. Just don't be a fucking pussy about it.
Right.
You know?
That opened up so many doors, I feel like, because now even Joe Rogan's doing a live. Did you see he announced his live show?
Yeah.
On Netflix. Mm-hmm. That's going to be massive.
Yeah. I mean, dude, the live thing is wild. I mean, in a way, it's like, you know, it is, when you record your special, it's live, you know, but to just not go to the editing room floor and everything, that's, you know, but I wonder if Netflix is doing all these live things because they're banking on mistakes, you know, because then that would be a moment that people would then talk about the event even more.
Right. It also just opens up because no one else has that reach.
Yeah.
No one else could reach, however, hundreds of millions of people.
Yeah, well, I mean, dude, the live thing is just so wild to me. I mean, what just an example of confidence and believing in yourself enough to go, yeah, I'm going to fucking do this. I'm not going to fuck up. And this is what it is. Or even if you do fuck up, having the wherewithal to make it work in the moment. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. It's pretty incredible that so many people are going to get to experience it while it's happening, you know, on Netflix. Because I know they did that with the Chris Rock thing a couple years ago. And he kind of like, yeah, and he kind of flubbed a little bit and was like going really fast. You could tell there were like nerves there. Because that was like the I don't know, I think that was like the very first like live Netflix special, you know.
How'd you going on Rogan come about?
Oh, man. I've been opening for Dave Attell since 2018. And he has become such just career professional stuff aside, just like such a friend and mentor, and like he and I have a really great relationship. We talk on the phone like every night. We like do, you know, father-son trips when we're on the road together. It's amazing. So he got asked to do Rogan and asked me if I would want to do it with him. And I was like, Jesus Christ, it'd be, you know, incredible. And so I've known Joe just in passing, hanging out together, and you know, for a little while now. And all my friends are on his show all the time. And so we knew each other. So it wasn't a thing like I was just kind of like a lump on a log. Like, so that made it great. And the fact that I was there with Dave and Dave had me, we had each other to like bounce off of, which is great because we have a really good rapport together. So, you know, it was amazing going in there, and then getting to do it with Dave, who's like my best friend, was the coolest, you know, like just such a nice comfort thing for both of us, you know.
Is there an aftermath of that for your social channels and just outreach?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I was in a Grand Central Station in New York the other day. I was taking a piss.
In the urinal?
Yeah, and no, in the sink. And I fucking zip up my pants, turn around, and a guy's like, I saw you on Rogan. Can I get a picture? I was like, yeah, man, let's go outside. You know? So it was wild. The weekend of it was crazy, man, because we recorded on Friday, it came out Saturday, and that weekend, like in Austin, was just like constant people stopping and everything. Like it was pretty like, whoa, I felt like I was the Wonders in you know, that thing you do for like a day or two, you know. It's pretty neat.
How after you recorded it, how long until it came out?
We recorded Friday and it came out Saturday.
Oh, that quick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've seen a bump, and it's been cool. It's just like even just doing it is like it's so funny. Like the people will be like, oh, you're the two questions when people find out you're a comic. Oh, three questions. Are you on Netflix? Do you know Kevin Hart? Have you done Joe Rogan? And so now I can be like, I've done one of those things. And then, so now like a friend of a cousin's friend would be like, oh, cool. You know?
Oh, you should check out my friend Ian.
Yeah.
Pretty big deal. Yeah. You'll probably get the same aftermath of this. I hope people will come to you while you're peeing.
I hope so too. I hope they'll give me a hand. Please. Please. See that I'm not so much of a lightweight, but a heavyweight down there. You know what I'm saying?
Bada bing, bada boom.
I got a fat cock.
Are you on Grindr?
Yeah.
Do you have any crazy stories from there?
Actually, no, I'm no longer on Grindr because Grindr has turned into a cesspool and they charge you. And if you go to Grindr free account, you only see like 3 profiles. If you want to tap someone, you have to pay. If you want longer messages, you have to pay. If you want to see more profile, it's crazy.
They're getting greedy.
Dude, it's insane.
I remember I checked my friend's Grindr for the first time and I was mind blown.
I thought you were going to say you saw me.
You could just send your location to people and be like, hey, come here. I'm waiting.
Bro, Grindr is a Disney movie compared to the new thing, Sniffies.
What's that?
Sniffies, it's not even an app. It's a website, sniffies.com. A map shows up with just pictures of some guys put their face, which is like crazy, but it's like basically Grindr was like a hookup app. This is like a come and fuck me and leave app. it's just butts and balls and dicks in a picture location. And you go, where are you? I'm here. Come over. That's it. Crazy.
Are you on there?
Yeah. But here's the thing.
Yes,
I'm on it, but I never, ever meet. The last time I met up with a guy on Sniffies was like fucking 6-7 months ago. Like, I'll go on it and kind of like, ooh, this is salacious. And then when it comes time to meet up, I'm like, oh, no, please, I can't.
Stop.
Please,
Stop. I'm a gentleman.
I'm a lady. I'm a gentleman. Please, you know. But yeah, it's pretty wild.
Did you really get a Dewey? Is that why you ride your bike everywhere?
No, I love bicycles. I've been riding bikes since I was like a kid. I ride bikes because it makes me feel like a kid, and it's meditative, and it's a way to trick myself into exercising, you know? But nothing feels better to me than riding a bike, New York City. I'm on my way to do sets. I got my music playing, the wind is blowing, and I'm just like, just so full of fucking gratitude and awe for what my life is and has become, especially because I've been in New York for like 21 years. So seeing where I was in this city, how many times I put my feet on the street in different phases of my life to see where I'm at now is just mind-blowing to me. And I feel that every time I ride my bike, and I try to keep that close so that I don't forget and get like jaded, or, you know, like I never want to be like a why not me guy, or a, you know, like bitter, whatever. So staying close to that like childlike wonderment I get when I ride my bike is like so important to me. So that's why I ride a bike. But I also rode a bike years ago because I got my car taken away because I got a DUI. You know, so yeah, it's twofold, you know.
Whose podcast was the most fun for you to go on?
Oh man.
Where the vibes are just right, you're really hitting it with them.
Always Are You Garbage with Kevin Ryan and Henry Foley. Those are my guys. We started in Philly together. I've known them and Tom Cassidy, Monroe Martin, Dave Temple, Derek Gaines. I've known those, Reggie Conquest. We've all known each other the longest, and I love them so much. And getting to hang out with them, like my best memories in comedy are with them when we are like scrounging together to get slices of pizza at a dollar slice place. We performed in front of 3 people in the West Village. It's like freezing cold out, and we're like laughing till we cry. Like I'll never have memories like that with anyone else. So getting to be with them and have fun, and then as a byproduct, it's recorded and sent out to, you know, hundreds of thousands of people. It's really cool. So whenever I get to like link up with them again, it's always like fucking magic. We get along so well, and that's like, we're just fucking in it, and that's like the most fun. But someone that I did a podcast recently with that I just, you know, showed up and we had talked a little bit, but we like hit it off right away, and it was like sweating, laughter, gasping for air, was Whitney Cummings when I did her podcast. We had so much fun together, and it was like I had to take my shirt off. I was like sweating, hyperventilating, laughing. It was just so much fun, and we like got along together like right away, and that was really, really wonderful. I that was like one of my most favorite podcasts I've done in a very long time.
You just opened for her too recently, right?
I did, yeah, in Vegas, yeah, at the Mirage. We were the last acts to ever play Vegas. Or to ever play the Mirage.
That's right.
Yeah.
You heard it.
Yeah. But also, like, dude, me and Jordan, nobody makes me laugh like her. Like, I'm so lucky that every week we get to hang out and, like, make each other, like, fucking cry laughing. It's the fucking best. But, yeah, Whitney was great.
Who are other goals for you guys to have on BEIN?
Man, I'd love to have Nick Swartzen on.
I love the Harlan Williams episode.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, I'm doing his pod Friday. I'm really excited.
With Pauly Shore or just?
No, just with him.
Just his?
Yeah. And he's the best. He's so funny. He's such a sweetheart. I guess like dream guest. I mean, my dream everything is always Bill Murray.
I thought you were going to say like, Bill Clinton.
No, yeah, right. Why, so I can get killed? No, I mean, anything involving Bill Murray, I would just be like in total shock and awe. But
was he your favorite actor?
Yeah, him, Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, and I would say Jim Carrey are my 4, like my Mount Rushmore of comedic actors.
Have you ever met any of them?
No. I've been 5 feet away from Adam Sandler. But
Didn't say hi though?
Never met him, no.
How do you think that...
Just gazed upon him from afar.
It's Billy Madison.
Yeah.
How do you think that interaction would go?
I don't know. I'm usually cool with whoever I meet, but I think I would like just be like, you changed my life. You're the reason why I do this. I love you so much. And the way you are funny and also touching emotionally is so sweet. Now you take care of your friends and your family is something I aspire to be. That's what I'd probably do.
What do you have coming up in NYC? Any cool shows?
I mean, I'm at the Cellar, Comedy Cellar in New York Comedy Club every night when I'm not on the road. So those are my 2 home clubs. It's where I work out material. And every night at the Cellar, I'll do a couple sets, and then I'll hang out. And Attell always closes out the show at McDougal. And so he always brings me on stage, and he and I improvise and riff back and forth and insult each other. And it's a ton of fun.
How are the vibes different on the West Coast and the East Coast?
I mean,
for comedy? Obviously, other than material.
But
like the rooms and...
Comics are better.
In New York?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm a New York purist. I'm just like, LA is so about being seen and everything. And in New York, it's like, who gives a shit? I'm just doing this because I love it. I feel like LA is like, well, if I do this, then I can get this. And in New York, it's like, I have to do this or else I'm going to kill myself, And LA, I feel like crowds are just very, I mean, again, like it really, it's up to the comic to perform well, I feel. So, crowds can be sucky, crowds can be shitty, but it's like up to you to kick them in the dick and make them great. But I don't know. I enjoy wherever I get to play. I feel that it's my job as an entertainer to fucking make you laugh, and you can be shitty, you can be horrible, and sometimes you just got to throw your hands up and go, you guys fucking suck. This is terrible. But at the end of the day, it's like on me, it's on us. You paid, get your fucking money's worth, and sometimes y'all can have a bad attitude, but if you burn it to the ground, it's better than just having a fine set, so.
Do you have a way to psych yourself up before the show?
Oh, man, before I headline, I listen to music and I dance in the green room.
What kind of music?
Hardcore.
Oh, yeah, you're
punk
into...
rock.
Like what?
Yeah. Lately, I've been listening to a band called Force Neglect, Haywire, this band Section Hate.
You go too heavy for me.
Oh, yeah. What do you like?
Story So Far, Day to Remember, Falling in Reverse.
Nice.
That's where like my limits of screams go.
What's the one that's like, till the day I die?
Story So Far.
Yeah.
No, that's Story of the Year.
Oh, fuck.
Different story.
Okay.
You like Story So Far.
Dude, Story So Far just played a small venue in New York with this great Long Island hardcore band named Koyo.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, real small venue.
Did you go?
No, I was supposed to, and then I got a spot at the Cellar, so I chose that instead of living my life happily.
Oh, yeah.
I've been making an effort though to go to more shows and do things that I enjoy more. Like I'm going to that music festival this weekend. I'm super pumped.
Which one?
Sound and Fury in Exhibition Park.
I thought you were gonna say Sad Summer. I'm going to that.
What's that?
That's like more emo bands. Mayday Parade, The Main, We the Kings.
No, this is like a place that when you walk in, you very well may get punched in the face.
Do you hardcore dance?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I stage dive still. I fucking go and I spin kick and I fucking do karate moves. I swing my arms around. I get punched in the teeth. It's
Wall
the
of
best.
Death?
I don't go to Wall of Death shows. Wall of Death is like long hairs. I go to fucking hardcore punk rock, like gang related shows of people like monster huge felon motherfuckers that like put a fucking set of brass knuckles on their head and then go swing it around in the pit. Like,
Shut up.
that's the
That
stuff
happens?
I go to. Oh yeah. It's the best.
Are you there by yourself?
Yeah. I mean, I end up seeing friends and people I know, but I'm really like a lone wolf, so I do a lot of stuff alone, and I always end up running into people I know. But yeah, it's fun.
I never would have pegged you for hardcore dancing.
I love the fear. I love the the feeling of, oh my God, I could be violently assaulted right now.
Like genuinely,
genuinely, like in the front, screaming with strangers, grabbing the microphone, singing, hopping up on stage, front flipping into the crowd, hopping on the singer's back. Like I love it. Like tucking your head down, just swinging your arms, knocking someone over. You pick them up, you get punched, they pick you up. It's the best. You will feel alive.
What's the point of it?
Woo! Get out your good old white aggression.
Is that what it is? Getting out your aggression?
Yeah, it truly to like sound whatever, but it's like a safe space for you to go and pop off.
A safe space for you to knock somebody out?
Yeah, I mean, it happens. That's life. No one's guaranteed safety. You could walk down the street and get knocked out. At least this is in a controlled environment where people fucking pick you up instead of run your pockets. This is a place to go to let out aggression, let out anger with a bunch of friends. You got guys going and just grabbing and punching you. You block them. You punch them. You all have a contract that it's all in this moment, and it's a part of what this music is making you feel.
Don't people take it too far?
Yeah, and they'll get beat up. It's a very egalitarian system, you know? Yeah.
Do you go to wrestling shows too?
No.
Oh, you would love those.
I would like to go.
You should.
I just haven't. You know, I'd love to go. I'd love to get involved in wrestling. I would love to be like a wrestler.
Oh, you're on
That'd
that next
be
level.
So fun.
Yeah. Indie wrestler.
I love any sort of danger and violence and like anything that gets me to the line of like almost getting my head kicked in, but I don't. You know, like I love danger and chaos and, you know, feeling a sense of like, you know, I love it.
Do you ever get hit?
That's what I want my shows to feel like. Like, I want people to be like, what the fuck is happening? Where's he going to go? How's he going to get out? Let's fucking just go and see what the fuck this is about.
Why is he punching her in the head? Why is he elbowing that guy in the teeth?
Yeah. Have I ever what?
Have you ever been knocked in the face?
Oh, yeah.
And it's not a big deal at all?
It happens.
That's scary.
That's what makes it fun.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I want to go to a show with you, but like I'll be in the back. I'll push you in.
Dude, I would love for you to come. Dude, I've brought friends and been like, get out there. And they look like a worm dangling on a hook. And it's amazing, dude.
Do you know
they come
Terror?
out completely sweaty and they're like, I'm having so much fun.
Do you know Terror?
I love Terror. Scott Vogel's like one of the greatest hardcore frontmen of all time. How do you know Terror?
Because Story So Far went on tour with them.
Oh, okay, yeah. Matter of fact, I went to a fest in Detroit called Tie Down Fest. My flight got delayed, whatever. I got to the venue, I put my bag down, ran up on stage, and Terror was playing, and I stage dived, and somebody took a picture, and that became like the picture of the weekend, and I made shirts out of it. Yeah. I'm in like jeans and a button-up shirt, tattoos, and I'm stage diving. It's it's great. Terror's amazing, dude.
Oh, I never got
They're
into
one
them
of
yet.
the best.
I'm gonna check them out.
Oh my god, yeah.
When you're living in New York City, is it just constant material that you can draw from to put in your set?
I think if you're living anywhere as a comic, you're observing, you're analyzing, you're looking, you're feeling, you're having thoughts, you're having opinions. So really anywhere you live and any experience you have, you should be drawing upon. I feel you should be drawing upon to, you know, then, but also at the same time, you should be living and like have time to just exist and not constantly. That's like a thing I have is I have to tell myself to just be and not like, you know, like I gotta write this down. I gotta write that down. Yeah. So yeah, balance. Balance is like the most difficult thing to achieve. I'm always searching for it, but I can never find it. You know?
Do you think you're obsessed with it?
With what?
Comedy.
I'm obsessed with everything, myself included. You know, literally, I was trying to meditate today, and I had to keep going. Stop thinking about yourself. You know, it just keeps going back to me, my, this is, that.
But I'm too
know?
good in bed. I know, chill.
Yeah, you've heard. Yeah, word on the street. You know?
What else do you have coming up?
Doing a live pod tonight. The podcast, we just did 100 episodes, and the
Huge
Patreon.
milestone.
Yeah. And the Patreon's fun because it's just episodes of me and Jordan. So usually we have like guests, which is great, but we really fucking go off the rails, and I think my basement loses oxygen or something makes us go insane down there, but it's really fun. So yeah, the podcast and this tour, man, I'm building the new special. I'm planning on filming in the fall, and this will be like that. The special I did, Wild, Happy, and Free, was very, again, like an introduction to who I am, what I'm about, how I feel, what I've been through, what makes me me. And this one is more cerebral, stream of conscious, very improv heavy and ranty, and kind of, I've been enjoying just like kind of going off the rails and then coming back to find it again, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is, I'm excited, man. Like I said, I'm having more fun on stage than I ever had. And I think it's because I forced myself after I filmed the special to not do any jokes. And that, again, that fear and that feeling I get when I go to a hardcore show is what I feel stepping on stage without a plan, you know, and just going out and saying whatever comes to my mind and just knowing like, you're going to be all right. Get in the pit. You're going to be fine. If you get hit, it's not the worst thing that happens. You know, stitches happen. They go away, you know.
Concussions are there. They're a thing.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
When you did the forum for 15,000 people, no plan.
I planned my set out for that. That's it. When I headline and I have the grace of an hour to play and everything. But like when I, at the forum, I wanted to like hit everyone with like the best of what I have in relation to what I've been doing lately. You know, like I didn't do like my best joke from 8 years ago. You know what I mean? Like I always try to stay current, you know, but the forum was, you know, like my interactions with the crowd weren't like planned, but you know, like I had the idea of like where to go with everything, you know, cause that's like a huge thing, you know, like when I did the Mirage, I had, you know, like, okay, I want this, I want that, I want this, you know, but like, the forum, my biggest thing with the forum was work on your pacing. Cause I had talked to some friends that had played it and they're like, you gotta be cool with the pacing because I'm very much like but you gotta wait for the laughs to travel and like,
travel from the way back.
Well, yeah, and your punch to go from the stage to the back and laughter from the back to the stage. So like you have to be aware of the pacing with things and hit a punch, rest. And then also like my face is a punchline for, you know, being on that huge fucking monitor. If I make a face, that can add to a punch, you know? So that was like a really cool experience. Just like the meticulousness of everything that goes into a performance like that. You know?
Did you discuss with Bert prior to taking the stage?
No.
So who'd you discuss for that kind of, because have you done a lot of stages like that?
I've done theaters, but I've never done anything of that, you know, magnitude. But I called Shane and Santino because I think Shane had just played the Forum the night before, and Santino had with him as well. So I just called them to be like, yo, what the fuck do I do? You know, and they were super cool and like gave me a lot of good pointers. Like when I've opened for bands, I hit up Todd Barry and Shane Torres because I know they've opened for bands. So it's cool. Like we all kind of take care of each other and everything, and you know help each other out with these type things. But the Forum also, dude, the coolest fucking thing at the after party, Gene Simmons was there, and he comes up to me and goes, you know, I have to tell you, I really love your voice. The way you use it on stage and the way you throw yourself into things, you really command a crowd. Your voice is very unique. And I go, yeah, same to you, Gene Simmons. What are you talking about? What is life? What is happening right now? Are you kidding me? One of the most iconic frontmen in the history of time is like, I really like how you stomp around. I'm like, this is crazy. You know?
That's crazy.
Yeah. I really felt in my element. I was like, you know what? I'm at the fucking Forum. I'm going to fucking do it up. And I was like dipping, like spinning and everything. You know? I was like, fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
You know?
Again, so memorable probably from that entire 2 weeks because I went to so many of those shows. You killed it.
Dude, that means the world. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Guys, go check out BEIN on YouTube. What days does it come out?
Jordan. every Wednesday on YouTube, youtube.com/BeINPod, and the Patreon, patreon.com/BeINPod. But yeah.
And go check out the special. It's really, really good.
You're such a sweetie, man. Thank you so much.
Are you playing any shows this weekend?
I am. Yeah.
LA?
Uh-huh. Yep. I'm
Where?
at the Comedy Store in the Improv all weekend.
Oh my God. I'm going to come Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I got 4. I got 2 at the store and 2 at the Improv. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Out. See ya. That was so good. Thank you.
Yo, thank you, man. Those are like really in-depth, nice questions for you to ask. And I can tell you like really research and cared. So thank you. I appreciate that.